What's going on, everybody? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe, man. And wow, man, what a fight tonight, you guys. This was a fight. This was a massive showdown between two hungry fighters, man. Raymond Ford versus Otabek Kholmatov, and it really delivered. It really delivered. This is fight of the year candidate. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, man. This fight was awesome, man. This fight was really awesome. It had highs and lows. Both guys had, their shine. This was in Verona, New York. Um, and wow, man, you guys can see, Tiger Johnson, uh, Nico Ali, Walsh, um, Bruce Carrington, and some other guys watching on, man, front row. This was a really good fight, man. It started off, in round one with both guys trying to, you know, uh, solidify their ring generalship. Raymond Ford was a real crafty boxer going into this fight. And that's why I didn't put any money on this fight, you guys, because this was a really, really close fight on paper. And, because we seen Raymond Ford have trouble with other guys, and this guy, Otabek was coming into this fight, okay? um, with over a 90% KO ratio. So he was coming in this fight, you know, with a lot of steam, and it showed. I mean, he put a lot of pressure on Raymond Ford, and you know, Raymond Ford, you know, started having success later in the fight. I feel like some of the middle rounds, Raymond Ford, kind of won. But all of the rounds, in my personal opinion, were most. I'll say 80% of the rounds were close. So I mean, they were pretty close, and Otabek was coming forward. He was pressing forward. He was trying to get, you know, he was trying to get him out of there, but I think Raymond Ford let Otabek, tee off on him. It really tried to get some of the stamina out of Otabek. As you guys know, it finally wound up working. In the 12th and final round, you guys, Otabek hit. I mean, excuse me, Raymond Ford hit Otabek with a flurry of combos that hurt him, and Otabek actually went down. They he went down. Um, they didn't call it a knockdown at first, and then the second time he wound up falling into the ropes, and when he fell into the ropes, right here, Raymond Ford just teed off on him, and the referee came in and stopped the fight, and I was surprised. I was surprised that he stopped the fight. um you know it was a really, like I said, smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, man. This was an awesome fight. Instant classic, possible fight of the year candidate already. Um, and Raymond Ford was down on the scorecard, you guys, at the 12th and final round. Okay. He needed a knockdown or two knockdowns to win. Um, so if Otabek would have, they didn't call the first knockdown a knockdown. Okay. They called the second, flurry of punches, a knockout, and he didn't let, because Otabak, turned his back. Otabak turned his back on Raymond Ford, and was running in a different direction, and he didn't have his legs underneath him. So you gotta have. You gotta have your legs under you, and you gotta defend yourself at all times if you want this fight, to continue. Raymond Ford was pressing the action, and in that 12th and final round, with I think 20 seconds left or 15 seconds left in the 12th and final round, Raymond Ford hit a grand slam home run. I mean, this guy was down on the scorecards, needed a knockout to win, and got it in the last 20 seconds of the fight. I mean, you cannot make this up, you guys, if you try to. Raymond Ford came back in this fight and won. And they said he had a terrible weight cut. He said in the post-fight in the post-fight interview that this was going to probably be his last fight at featherweight. Then he's moving up. He said it was a terrible weight cut. Um, very hard. Smash that like button and subscribe, you guys. Very hard weight cut. And he's saying he's moving up. He's saying he got the win, you know. And like, Timothy Bradley and a couple of the other guys at ESPN, they said about Raymond Ford, this is gonna change his family's life going forward. Like I said, Raymond Ford is a awesome fighter, but he does get hit. He does get hit. Otabek was definitely, hitting him with the 1-2s all night. The jab was working, well in spots for Otabek. Raymond Ford looked like he wanted Otabek to throw more punches. It almost looked like he was, gunning for the knockout, you know, um, in that 12th and final round. He was biding his time, and with about 20 to 30 seconds left, you know, O- Otabek got extremely hurt and you know, was almost out on his feet. I'm not gonna say he was completely out, but he didn't have any, whereabouts on where his feet were going, you know. And you guys know, you know, Raymond Ford was down on the scorecards leading up into that 12th and final round, and he had a cut that he sustained from a head clash on his cheek. You know, Atabek's head hit the cheek of Raymond Ford, causing a big gash in Raymond Ford's face, lacerations to the face. It was wild. It was wild, man. I mean, you guys got to understand, it was blood, guts, and glory. I mean, Raymond Ford, when I tell you guys he earned this, he earned this. He got this out the mud, man. This was a dog fight. You know, Kulama, Otabek, you know, Kulamatov, he was coming forward and he was really trying to press the action. And Raymond Ford had to learn how to fight off his back foot, but he had a lot of success when he came forward. When, the corner of, Raymond Ford was telling them, look, come forward, come forward, you know. And, they said Otabek didn't like, you know, to fight off his back foot. It was a better fight for Raymond Ford to press the action, you know, and he was trying to press the action, press the action, press the action, and he was trying to press the action, and he was pressing forward. And I mean, you guys got to understand, Raymond Ford, you know, a whole lot of amateur fights. He only had 50 amateur fights, or less, and Otabek had over 200 amateur fights. So, you know, and Otabek, was he? I mean, I'm telling you, man, in the last 20 seconds of the fight, Raymond Ford found a way to get it done. I mean, you cannot even hate on this guy. You cannot say anything bad about Raymond Ford after this performance. Yes, he got hit a little bit too much, but he was in there with the fighter that was 11-0 with 10 knockouts. I mean, this guy knows how to put people down. And Raymond Ford had been hurt in this fight, like on 2 or more occasions. Rocked. You know what I mean? Completely rocked. You know? Hometown stoppage. Shout out to I am in the chat, who I am. Yeah, man. Hometown stoppage sounds about right. I mean, it was 20 seconds to go. Otabek was winning the fight, even if he got knocked down, even if they should have gave him a standing 10 count at least. At least, you know. And you can't even say that Raymond Ford was in his hometown because the fight was in Verona, New York, but it is near his hometown in Camden, New Jersey, excuse me. Um, but like I said, man, this was a back and forth battle. Both guys, man, laid it all on the line, man. Both guys laid it all on the line. And I mean, Raymond Ford, if you guys are just watching, Raymond Ford had to bite down. Okay? This wasn't an easy fight. Otabek was bringing it to him all night long, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. A lot of people were sleeping on Otabek, but he came to fight and he came to win. You know? He wound up coming a little short. You know what I mean? But damn, that's a terrible way to go out, man. 20 seconds to go, and you can't even get a standing, you haven't been knocked. Otabek wasn't knocked down in none of the fight. I didn't see him knocked down not one time in the fight. Okay? I seen Raymond Ford hurt, a couple times, but I've never seen Otabek down. Now he did go down at the in the 12th round, but they didn't call it a knockdown. I believe he was hurt at that time, but they didn't call it a knockdown. So this is a world championship fight for a vacant belt. You have, I mean, if you're the referee, don't you give Otabek at least a standing 10 count? At least? I mean, if you're the referee of this professional fight and you see a guy that's, getting hit and pretty much running the opposite direction, and then he falls into the ropes, you know, and then Raymond Ford is hitting him even more. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get these likes up, man. Stop hating. Let's get to it. And Raymond Ford, kept hitting him on the ropes, and then that's when the referees came and jumped in. Charles D in the chat. Let me go to the chat, you guys. I am who I am. I says I'm glad he won. Okay, boy, ran out of steam. Facts. Facts. He definitely ran out of steam. I am who I am. I mean, it's effed up the way it went down, man. But you have got to protect yourself at all times. Otabek was in a position where he couldn't defend himself. So the shots were raining down, and I believe he was going to rain down even more shots. You know, it was a wild stoppage, though, for sure. Charles D screaming robbery. Charles D in the chat says that ref stopped it with 7 seconds left. That shit was wild. Did you bet on the fight, Charles D? I didn't bet on this one, but I bet on another one. I bet on that Lopez fight, and that Jake Paul fight came through for the kid today, for sure. At least a standing 8 count. I would at least, stand, you know what I mean? Uh, I am who I am says he took the first 4 rounds off. When he started pressing the fight was his. Yup. When Raymond Ford, like I said to you guys, when Raymond Ford was coming forward, he was having more success than fighting on his back foot. Facts. You got to go into that storm, though. Raymond Ford was getting hit with shots as well, though. Charles D says Ford lost the first 6. What fight you watched? Yeah, I mean, I would say at least the first 5. You know what I mean? Otabek was getting it in heavy. You know what I'm saying? But then Raymond Ford did win some of, like I said, some of those middle to late rounds. I said that in the beginning of the live stream. Smash the like button and subscribe. Let's get these likes up. You know? Shout out to Charles D in the chat. He says Ford needed that stoppage. Facts. Facts, man. He definitely needed this stoppage. If he didn't get this stoppage, man, he would have lost on the scorecards. You know, he would have lost. He would have lost. It says standing 8 and Ford still loses. Facts. One knockdown wouldn't have won the fight for Raymond Ford. If he would have got a knockdown in that last and final round, he would have still lost the fight. He needed a knockout to win the fight. Okay. I am who I am says debatable. Like I said, when Ford put the pressure on he looked like Tank. Yeah, I like Ford with pressure, man. Raymond Ford with pressure is a better fighter to me. You know, I mean, he throws when he's off his back foot and when he's stationary, he throws one jab at a time. You know, he doesn't double, triple it up, you know. And I feel like more seasoned fighters can get through the guard of Raymond Ford. We seen in this, Otabek fight. Otabek had success getting through the guard of Raymond Ford. Charles D says, "No, Ford lost, homie. On paper, Ford won by stoppage. Facts. TKO, to be exact." Charles D says, "I watched the entire fight." No doubt, man. Charles in the chat says, "No, I didn't bet, but I picked split for Kholmatov." Yep. Both fighters sucked on the back foot. Yeah. Facts. Charles D says whoever came forward was getting busy. Facts. And that's another thing, man. You know, this was a fight of wills, man. And, Komatov, will got broken towards the end, man. From from Raymond forward that was, beaten to the face, lacerations to the face, bleeding from I believe he was bleeding from the eyebrow and the cheek and the mouth. This was just a brutal. This was a really good fight, man. Like I said, instant classic, and 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 a lot of people are gonna look back and be like, how did Raymond Ford get this stoppage? You know, he started pressing, and when he felt like he had Otabek hurt, he pressed even more to the point that Otabek was running and didn't have any legs under him to run. He had nowhere to run to. In actuality, you know, he had nowhere to run to. Otabek had nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. He was jabbing and running all night. Otabek was. I'm not gonna say all night, but I'm gonna say from rounds. You know, I mean, he was jabbing and moving, but I feel like it got more excessive in the later of the fight. Otabek was, in there to be hit, but at the same time, he was trying to stay a distance so he didn't get hit. You know, he did have some success on the outside, but like Raymond Ford said in the post-fight presser, I felt like my inside game, and I quote, was better than his, and it was. When he pressed that action, Raymond Ford had a ton of luck. And that's what it's going to take to fight to beat a pressure fighter that's 11-0 with 10 KOs. You know, both guys undefeated. Both guys don't know how it feels to lose. But what a finish, you guys. What a freaking finish, man. Charles T says that's a negative. When Ford came forward, he was getting R time late in the fight. Refs suck. Um, I am who I am says when most pressure fighters are pressured, they look like a fish out of water on their bike. Yeah. Charles D says 12-0 with 11 KOs. Yeah, he's 12-0 now with 11 KOs now. For the fight, he was, yeah, but I mean, it's wild how he got that stoppage, man. It's wild, but hey, if you're out of back, you have got to protect yourself at all times. You know, you got to. You can't be in this fight, you know, winging it. Yeah, and Raymond Ford only had 8 KOs. Facts. Facts, man. Raymond Ford coming into this fight only had 7 KOs. Now he got 8 KOs. This was a really big win for Raymond Ford. I think it'll change his career trajectory to, in my personal opinion. Even if he moves up to fight, for a title, he always can look back and say, I was a world champion at featherweight. I started, you know, this championship run at featherweight. And then he can just go up from here. I got Raymond Ford going up to at least 140 in his career. He's already talking about going up to 130. He's busting out of the seams at featherweight. Horrible weight cut, he said. Terrible weight cut. It was very tough for him. And now he's saying he's gonna move up to 130. What a fight though, man. What a freaking fight. What an awesome fight, man. You know? Yeah, and Raymond Ford have been almost all 4 years. Shout out to Charles D in the chat. Yeah, I mean, he came back, man, and he really pulled it out, man. He pulled it out. I didn't think he was gonna be able to pull it out like that, but he surprised me. Smash that like button and subscribe. You know, I thought the fight was just gonna go to the scorecards and and uh and Otabek was gonna win. But no, man. In the last 20 seconds, Raymond Ford had different ideas. And he had ideas to get him out of here. His coach had been telling him to press the action more. And when you go inside, don't come in without punching, you know. And he listened. Shout out to the corner of Raymond Ford. They did a hell of a job coaching him through this championship fight. He said, come on, man, we didn't come all this way for nothing. And in the 12th and final round, Raymond Ford delivered. And boy, did he deliver. you know. But yeah, man, it's late. I'm gonna get, I might do one more live stream because I want to do it on this Lopez fight as well. Okay. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please smash that like button and subscribe, man. And I'll get at you guys on the next live stream. Hit that like button and subscribe, you guys. It's Quarterly Boxing. And you definitely been hit with another banger. Wow.